everybody. This is JGSF 1987. Okay, I'll start this again. I'm JGSF 1987. I'm a writer and blogger. You can see my latest posts. Go to my blog at jgsf1987.com, which is down in the description. And you can also help support this channel on Patreon at patreon.com/jgsf1987. Okay, so yeah, I know it's kind of a long title, but I'll make this as concise as I can. Vladimir Putin's plan, such and such, has apparently backfired, and it backfired really badly. Now he's in the retreat. Vladimir Putin's plan, well, yeah, in principle, he liked what Trump said about like having peaceful relations with Russia, blah 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 blah. The fact is that Trump was not the person that he wanted in the White House. Actually, here's why. Putin has almost nothing in terms of leverage with Trump. Trump has more leverage than Putin. Trump has the upper hand when it comes to dealing with Putin. Trump does business with a lot of the same oligarchs that Vladimir Putin has as his patronage. So if anything goes sideways, Trump could threaten to pull whatever licensing rights that he leased to these oligarchs to stick his name on whatever projects they did. He can pull it, and he can pull it pretty dang easily. So as for Putin, there's really nothing that he can do. Hillary, on the other hand, would have been actually a much better target for Putin, actually. Putin has a lot more leverage with Hillary, and he could basically blackmail her. He does not have that same leverage with Trump. And what Mueller's investigation has basically done is that it has essentially turned the whole plan. So here, I'll say it. The plan that Putin would have had for Putin to try to cause chaos, as I said before, it's backfired, and it backfired pretty bad. The fact is that the same attempts that he tried to do in continental Europe did not pan out. And at the moment, he's really overplayed his hand in this case when it comes to the BRICS and to us and to basically Europe as a whole, because they're basically starting to say that they're not going to tolerate any of his pushing the envelope anymore. And that's how it backfired on him. Because what they're starting to become some, I would say, some credible evidence now. Because, again, it's not to say that Donald Trump colluded with Vladimir Putin to get the presidency. That is looking less and less likely. Did some of Donald Trump's managers and the people in the staff that ran his campaign, did they have some, collusions with or they went to the Russians for information and such? I'm pretty sure they did. But that's only individual members of his. But that was only individual members of, in terms of the senior people in his staff, in his campaign staff. Trump would have had nothing to do with it. But it is going to come back to bite him in the sense that the investigation has showed, Trump completely. They're going after Trump, the Trump organization now, because of it engaged in a lot of illegal activity. And that's only but again, that's just the surface. That barely even scratches the surface. That's just the low-hanging fruit. Yeah, apparently the Russians in their attempt to, what's becoming more and more credible is their attempt to cause chaos. It is backfiring, and it is backfiring badly. That's because of the fact that a lot of the organizations right now that are quote unquote part of the Republican Party's base, or shall we say their donor network, it's becoming exposed that they were in fact channeling in illegal campaign donations from foreign entities and basically foreign states. And that is what the NRA is getting nailed with. And it's going to go more than just the NRA. It's going to get a lot of places. It's going to hit home. I would say it would even go through into networks like, say, Americans for Prosperity or the Heritage Foundation. I would not be surprised if either of those guys got ensnared in this. That would not surprise me in the least. But that's, again, only one part of it. But what's really going on right now is that a lot of the, but it's also starting to hit the Democrats too. Well, the DNC actually, because everybody is going around them to, support progressives and such. But that's not news to anybody. So I'm not going to go much further with that. But what I am going to say though is that the DNC donor network, some of them are going to get nailed too. I mean, it's not exclusive to the Republicans and their donor network. Not by a long shot. In order to cause chaos, Putin would have been doing it with both sides. He wouldn't favor one side over the other. As much as he liked what Trump was saying, Putin figured, like everybody else did, that Trump was not going to get into the presidency. Not even Trump thought he was going to get into the presidency. Look, again, I'm going to say this from the very beginning. Trump never wanted to be president. He was only running for president for bargaining leverage and contract talks with NBC. That's the only reason why he ran. And everybody knew that. But what nailed Hillary, and it is really going to come back and nail Hillary, is that, again, it's going to encompass the Clinton Foundation. It's going to go after the Clinton Global Network. I mean, it's going to take down the Trump Organization. I mean, it is going to go in all corners. But that's the thing. It's that the Russians, in their attempt to cause chaos, they would have been doing it with both sides. So, but in reality, here, Putin knew that he was going to be a lot safer, not with Trump, but with Hillary. Here's the reason why. It's like I said before, Putin has some leverage over Hillary because he has plenty of Hillary's emails and he can use that against her. to basically expose her. He also has the uranium window that he can use to blackmail her too. So Hillary would have been coming from a hand of weakness. Trump is not. As much as everybody likes to say that Trump is a Russian puppet, he's not. Trump is just, the only reason that Trump is even president is because of the complacency of the electorate and the unresponsiveness of the politically and economically established elites. And that is how we got into this position, and this is why we have Trump as president. Now, one of the things that Trump has done that is actually quite horrifying is that he's been giving a voice to white supremacists, even the most violent of them, for that matter. I mean, he's just a bold limb to come out and basically turn, their quote-unquote make America great again is to make America white again. Look, I get it. I know why a lot of people who are minorities, like racial minorities, Black, Latino, those that are Spanish speakers, Middle Eastern, Asian, blah, 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 blah. Even me. I was raised in the Jewish family. So, yeah, it cuts there too with some anti-Semitism. But Trump himself, I don't think he's anti-Semitic. I think he is a race. I mean, he is a confirmed racist against, Black and brown people. Those that are from basically Latin America and those from Africa. That's who he's mostly really, 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 really bigoted against. Anti-Semitism? No, I'm sorry. There hasn't been any evidence to show that. Trump's family, yeah, they have a history of anti-Black racism and anti-brown racism. Not anti-Semitism. But are there members of Trump's administration, or shall we say some of the people that are in his administration that are anti-Semites? Yeah, there are a few. I mean, look, he's taken a lot of people, mostly a lot of those that are anti-Black racists, for the most part. Of people, those that are against Black and brown people. Now, some anti-Semites are backing Trump up. That is true. But Trump doesn't really have much of an anti-Semitic bone in his body. I mean, think about it. He's the first U.S. president, quote unquote. No, actually, he actually is literally the first U.S. president to ever visit the Western Wall. And that is a sitting U.S. president. Now, look, as disgusting as I think it is that he's doing that because he's endorsing an ideology that I really, really, really don't agree with. But again, for the historic part, yeah, I give him credit for that. But I don't give him credit for the fact that he is actually backing up Benjamin Netanyahu, who wants to basically kill off the Palestinians if he gets the chance and when he thinks no one is looking. I mean, there's a lot of people that are backing up Benjamin Netanyahu who really, really, really want to start an anti-Arab, basically an anti-Palestinian genocide. Yeah, I mean, I would say look it up on Google and look it up on Bing. There's plenty of articles that express exactly that. But anyhow, yeah, Well, what's just starting to unravel in front of our eyes, though, is the layer upon layer upon layer of corruption that is actually getting exposed. Trump, in a way, it kind of, even if I think that what he's, all the red baiting that he does, for, the anti-black and anti-brown race baiting that he does, much of the hate that he actually does that. In a couple of ways, I think he deserves at least a minuscule amount of credit in doing two things. One, yeah, he is in a small sense living up to his promise of quote unquote draining the swamps in Washington. Actually, he kind of is, albeit not in the way that not in not in the way that he's doing it. I mean, he didn't intend really to, well, no, he did intend to actually expose the corruption. He just didn't intend for himself to be caught up in it, actually, is more of the thing. But Donald Trump has done this for the country in one sense an actually massive favor, because he's now shown just how deeply entrenched all the corruption is. And that he deserves at least a modest amount of credit for doing. So yeah, he has started conversations about what it is to be an American and how to make a system that works for everybody, not just the 1%. Trump, for the most part, explained how the system was rigged, and now he is also, in a sense, showing just how bad it is. So this way people will think, okay, we got to do something about it. And we do, and how we're seeing people do it. So Trump, in a sense, has woken up a civic revival. This would not have happened under Hillary. I can assure you that. No one would have been willing to give her even a micro gram of assistance. No one would have done it. There would not have been that urge to do it. Let me put it that way. The lucky part is that we're about we're about 7 months away right now, more or less, from the midterm vote in November. This is going to be our chance to cut the far-right's basically regressive agenda and their attempts to basically bring back a national form of Jim Crow. We're going to see that get cut off at the knees in one form or another, because of the amount of racism that Trump has been basically advertising. And the bullying that's going on, too. The American people are going to stand up to this, and they're going to say, not anymore. So I know, yeah, it's kind of a massive tangent, but anyway, but part of that, that's also kind of being exposed to by Mueller's investigation. So Mueller actually deserves 95% of the credit here, not Trump. Trump, he gets maybe 5%, in my eyes. In the sense that, yeah, he kind of exposed it, and he's continuing to expose it. So in a sense, yeah, he does deserve at least a little bit of credit, because he's kind of draining the swamps, just not in the way that he said that he would do it. Or I think he's basically starting to understand how it is to try to run a government, because it's not as easy as you thought. But anyway, yeah, that's what the Trump essentially has brought forth the Mueller investigation. The Mueller investigation has basically popped out all the corruption. And how this ties back to Putin in the sense is that Putin was trying to influence some of the corruption that was going on here, which would not be a massive surprise. But then again, he's not the only, you know, head of a foreign state to do this. He's just, this is not a first. This has happened numerous times. I mean, think about it. Think about what happened. Think about what Bill Clinton did back in 1996. That's essentially what Trump. That's essentially what Donald Trump is doing from 2016 into 2018 and again into 2020. But it's also the Democrats too. So, like I said, it cuts both ways. So there's that. There's the again, there's the fact that I mean, think about what's going on right now, especially. Here's one good thing with TPP, for example. A lot of the domestic opposition to it was very genuine, and Trump came out completely against it. Now, what exactly is going on here? How is it that he was denouncing it while everybody else was praising it? Well, I would say the same thing I would say to anybody else to any other candidate. Follow the money. In Bernie Sanders' case, it was coming from unions who were dead fast against it, in addition to a bunch of progressive groups. Trump, on the other hand, was getting it from the other end of the scale. No, it's not corporate America. It's from another foreign entity, but it's not Russia. It's China. China was set to lose real big if the Trans-Pacific Partnership Treaty went into effect with the United States in it. Now, I'm glad that the TPP was not enacted because that was a complete selling of our nation's sovereignty to corporate America, which is not a good thing. So that's a massive check, or at least a fairly sizable check on corporate America's power, in one sense. And we partially have Trump to thank for that, because he's exposed a lot of the corruption that's there, in that sense. And President Trump also has very strong business. Well, the Trump organization right now has very strong business ties in China. So for the Chinese to kind of find ways of donating to him, that shouldn't come as a massive surprise either. So yeah, that's one. Look at Israel. Israel certainly went after it, but they especially loved what Donald Trump was saying. It's not that they don't like Hillary Clinton. Trust me, she's more revered there than Barack Obama. But that's a complete side note. In reality, here's the thing. The fact that Trump won actually is that he has the backing also of the evangelicals, who are even more protective of Israel than a lot of Jews are actually. I would say a good plurality of Israel's backers here in America, they're not Jews. You know, the biggest majority of them that actually back it are actually evangelical Christians. And no, that should not surprise anybody at all. They need Israel there in order to bring about the second coming of Christ. That's what they say. But no, there's that corruption. And that is what Bob Mueller's investigation is also exposing too. And now Bob Mueller's investigation has brought about the death of it. And as I said before, the reason that it backfired on Putin now is that Putin now has to run on the defensive. He's backed himself into a major corner, and he has basically no one to turn to. And it's only a matter of when the Russian people frustration and in some cases rageful anger actually boils over. Like I said, it's a matter of when, not if. So in this sense, America can play for the long game. We have all of that because the reason that it's also backfiring on Putin is that you're now dealing with a much more united America, which was not something that Putin was expecting to do at all. So, in a sense, because of a united front within America, more or less, and because of the fact that a lot of the people that are really want to tear Russia apart have almost entirely held Trump in check from really doing anything that would have been beneficial on Putin's part. The same would not have been the case if it had been Hillary. Hillary would not have done any cooperation with Congress. Trump is at least Trump is being forced because of the somewhat bipartisan consensus in Congress. That is what is driving. That's what's driving Trump to do a lot of things that he really wants to avoid doing. But yeah. So there you have it. It's almost a minute. Sorry. Anyway, I'm JJ 1987, and I'm out of here.